Hello, everyone. I guess we are live. Okay, let me check first. And good evening to all of you. We have FIDE Master Joydeep Dotto with us. He is also, associated with the project ChessNeeds project. So, okay, again, welcome to ChessNeeds. So today we won't be doing our title Tuesday, speed run or slow run or whatever we do. So today, as we all know, a very important event is going on, the FIDE World Cup 2025 here in India, Goa. So this lovely event, we will try to break down as much as possible. Of course, noobs breaking down the masters. So yeah, we'll just break this down. We'll try to dilute the game as much as possible, and yeah. So that's what we'll do with the majorly the Indian players, and yep. So we'll go off to Mr. Joydeep Dutta, FM Joydeep Dutta, the co-founder of Aspire Chess Academy, who is also like our partner of ChessNeeds, who is trying. Sorry. Okay, okay, I'll just stop. Joydeep Dutta.
Thanks, Arpan, for inviting me in this podcast. And now we are going to see one match played between Ganguly and uh, Ahmed. Uh, okay, shall we start now?
Yeah, please. I'm just checking if we are live or not. Yeah, give me some time. I'll just check if we are live, and we'll be back. Yeah, you can start. I'm just checking. You can continue. Go ahead.
Okay.
Just give me a minute. I'll just check in all platforms if we are.
Yeah. So,
Yep. It
mm,
seems like we are streaming live, but again, I am the only viewer. I don't know why. Okay, everyone, if you are watching anyone, please let me know because it's my stream and I cannot check it actually. The stream. I don't know what happened. Yeah, okay, please continue with the game. I believe this is how the
okay.
game went. E4,
Yeah.
E5, knight F3,
Ganguly
knight
played as
C3.
white. So he played Royal Lopez. Here he played Bishop B5, A6, the main line Bishop A4, Knight F6, and now castling. Yes, Bishop E7. uh, bishop into c6.
Okay, so I remember checking out chessbest or chess.com video wherein Surya Bhaiya mentioned this very interesting idea of going bishop c6. So, this is not a regular line that's played, I believe. We all know that this is a very offbeat line, again, considered very dull, equalish, at least. That's what I know, being a real Lopez player for quite some time now.
Yeah,
Again,
the main
yeah,
line must
yeah,
be rook e1 and then
yeah.
followed by c3 and d4.
Okay, but this must have been a very big surprise, as he also mentioned in that video that my opponent, quote unquote, Surya Sekhar Ganguly, that he didn't quite have the what to like. His opponent was surprised and he was not up to the mark on the time. I believe all of you can see the time in the stream. Also, that the time, of course, here is just at par, but slowly it went falling down. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, why does black plays this move? Okay, I just have a random question in mind. So, to all the viewers who are watching, so why did black play this move? So, what was the intention of playing this move?
Okay. First of all, somehow he has to protect the d6 pawn. So usually, as black, either he can go knight d7 and then followed by f6 if required, or else he can place his bishop to d6 also sometimes. But in this case, that is not possible because straight away d4 was coming. Um, and that's why probably black played knight d7 and now he's trying to play
Okay,
later on f6 maybe.
okay,
And usually in this setup, the black's main advantage is that black is having the double bishop advantage, but at the same time, looking at the current scenario, as you can see, white is having a great pawn structure. So that's how white is balancing the position.
okay, yeah. This might must be it. Okay, so I believe this is a very normal idea to go kind of knight c5, knight e6. Yeah, this kind of idea. Does
Usually,
this
black
count?
plays c5 just in order to prevent the
Okay.
d4 later on, and then somehow black is trying to go to f8 with the
Mm-hmm.
knight, and then followed by knight e6.
Wait, but then how does the bishop being on c8, how is that justified? Justified because we all know, firstly, the opening principle says that we should not be moving our pieces twice in the opening. Then he breaks this principle of like he's blocking his own piece with his piece. So how come black's move knight d7 justified? And it's not only like justified in terms of human or computer, but like yeah, like this is a well developed theory, as I believe it is.
Yeah, correct. But
So.
uh, like if straight away instead of coming back to bishop a4, instead of that, if white could have captured the c6 knight at first instead of playing bishop a4,
Mhm.
then might be black supposed to play something else rather
Okay.
than playing bishop e7. And once the black committed the move bishop e7,
Okay.
and afterwards now knight d7 followed by something like f6 or something, so that he can protect the e5 pawn,
Okay.
and then later on he can move back to f8 with the knight, and
Mhm.
then he may can place his bishop to g4, and then followed by knight e6.
Ah,
Even though it will take a lot of time, but still I think that is quite possible in this
o-
position.
okay. So, yeah, C3 was played. I believe the idea is going D4, right?
Yes.
If I'm not very wrong. Yeah. And as Sir completely mentioned here, C5. Yeah, very important move. Just kind of blocking the D4 move for the time being. But as I can see, or as both of us can see here, you guys can't. You can take a pause. Okay, okay. Whoever is watching the video not live can take a pause and think what White played here. But White still went on for this move D4, and surprising to see that even though Black tried to stop it, White still didn't quite listen to his opponent's words, as we say, didn't quite oblige to his move. CD4, CD4, ED4, and Queen D4 happened. Of course, attacking the pawn on G7 now, and here Black castled, just protecting the G7 pawn in time. And White went knight to C3. I believe the idea is going knight. To, oops, sorry, not here, of course. Knight to D5. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So bishop came to F6 now, and okay, what should we play here?
Uh, yeah. Now, actually, surprisingly, e5 is not possible over here due to knight into e5.
I was just thinking about E5. Like,
Yeah.
of
Otherwise,
course, I can see Surya played C5 here. Of course. Surya Bhaiya, sorry. He played Queen D5 here. But my first instinct was why not E5? So thanks for this breakdown. There's this very little tactics coming
yeah. So
with that. Sorry, this was not meant to be. So E5, knight E5, Queen D8 would be met with
and then
knight
knight
to
f3,
F3
and
check.
then yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is was very interesting to see. I'll just lay out the moves in the board. That Queen D8 would be now met with knight to F3, and surprisingly, white is a pawn down now because of this check coming on G1 king. FG3 will be met with rook to D8.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So Queen D8 5 happened in the board, and it was met with C6, and queen came to H5, pawn went to G6, queen to H3. Okay. Another question I have: why would anyone place their queen in a square wherein they are kind of under a pin, or so to say, a discovered motif here? Queen on H3 is of course in a discovered motif.
Yes, but apparently at the same time, I don't think black is going to get a lot of threats
Mm-hmm.
by moving the knight and by giving a discovered threat to the queen.
Okay.
And at the same time, after queen h6, then I think eventually black will play bishop g7 at some point, and
Uh,
afterwards he can simply transpose the knight to uh, e5 or maybe c5, and later on he can place his knight to e6.
okay, so that's probably the idea. Okay. So would you please continue? I just have a slight walk. I'll just let everyone know out there on our social channels that you are live with us. And yeah, so guys,
Yeah,
I'll just take a break, mobile break.
sure,
Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you, everyone.
So yeah, after Queen H3, so as Arpan mentioned, Black played knight e5, threatening bishop into H3. Queen is under attack, and now White played Queen G3, knight into F3, Queen into F3. Even though Black is having the double bishop advantage, but to be very honest, in this position, as you can see, White position is somehow favorable because as white, as you can see, white is having the space advantage, and at the same time white pieces are also quite nicely placed because knight is on c3, and at the same time this bishop, which is very important, the c1 bishop, it's controlling the c1 h6 diagonal, and once if you can place this bishop to h6, afterwards again it would be difficult for black to exchange the dark color bishop because suddenly, as you can see, most of the black pawns, actually all the black pawns are sitting on the light color, so there might be, after exchanging the dark color bishop, black is going to face a lot of trouble with the dark color because afterwards black doesn't have any control over the dark color. That is also another important issue over here. Anyway, so here black played bishop to g7, and now white played the move bishop f4. I think the intention might be to play maybe e5 and then followed by knight e4 and then bishop g5 and then trying to get the f6 square, because anyway it's coming under a dark color, and at the same time if you can put a lot of pressure on that f6 square, then it would be really difficult for um, black to survive afterwards. So bishop f4 and now rook e8, and then rook a1 comes with the tempo. The queen is under attack on d8. Now queen b6. Black is also trying to attack on the b2 pawn, and now rook to d2. Okay. Now this bishop, which is on g7, this bishop is playing a very crucial role because once this bishop will get exchanged, then automatically white will get a clear grip, clear advantage in this position, as you can see, because black is going to face a lot of challenges via this dark color diagonal, the black diagonal, right? This diagonal. So anyway, so here black played bishop e6, and now white played bishop e6, and then white played bishop d6. Okay, so I think now white may can play bishop queen to g3, and then if possible then white can try to play bishop c7, and at the same time this is also another threat white is having actually. White is not allowing, it's a move, this queen g3 is a move which is not allowing black to play rook d8, preventing rook d8. It's a profile active move actually, because if black plays still rook d8, then bishop c7, and then it will be a fork, and black is going to lose the position afterwards. So instead of bishop d6, I think queen g3 might be a better option rather than playing this move, bishop d6. But anyway, Ganguly played bishop d6, and here black played bishop h6. So after bishop h6, uh, rook c2. Okay, this is also another reason I think, because now after placing the bishop to h6, the rook which was on d2 forced to move from d file, because otherwise white is just going to lose the b2 pawn. He cannot place his rook to d file because otherwise just white is going to lose the pawn on b2. So that's why the queen g3 move, keeping the bishop on f4, was bit important, I think. But anyway, after rook c2, now black played rook a d8, and now finally Ganguly played queen g3. Not only supporting the bishop on d6, but at the same time again trying to play bishop c7. That is the next threat actually over here. So now black played queen d4, white played rook d1. back to back, too many tempos white is just getting one by one, because now again it comes with a tempo. Now the queen is under attack, uh, and now the queen has to move somewhere. So queen f6 over here. After queen f6, now h4. Okay. I am not sure what is the exact idea of h4. Maybe he's just trying to prevent queen g5 exchange or so. Because this position, roughly, I believe that this position is equal. Even though white is having a good bishop which is on d6, but still black is having double bishop advantage. And at the same time, if this position go towards the end game, then definitely black will enjoy a huge edge due to the pair of bishops. And at the same time, as you can see in this position, black is also having another important aspect in this position, and that is the queen side pawn majority. Black is having 3 pawns against the 2 pawns on the queen side. So definitely, if um, white has to stay in this position in the game, then he has to keep this position alive. And if once the queen will get exchanged, then definitely white is going to face a lot of trouble in this position. So probably that is the reason why white played, I think, h4. And now rook d7, with the intention of playing doubling the rook on d file, targeting the d6 bishop. So rook e2 over here, and now rook e d8. So
Okay, now I'm sorry.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
please.
yeah, yeah. You can
Sorry.
continue.
Okay,
Yeah,
I just uploaded everywhere. I am done with my promotional work. Now I can be back, and yeah, so please. I was also learning. I was just hearing, of course, not very much concentrating on the stuff. Yeah, so please continue. I'll check with you.
yeah. So after rook e d8, and now suddenly, as you can see, um, this position is again roughly equal, you can say, but somehow black manages in this position only due to that move once white played bd6 instead of queen g3, and afterwards this position looks like just an equal position. But anyway, after
Okay.
rook e d8, now white played rook e1.
So this is actually the like great maneuver that was like very much highlighted, which I really got interested into. So this is the game I really wanted to start with. The rook's journey is like very beautiful to see from
Yes,
where and how it traveled back to E1. It's not a very normal move that we see in chess. Yeah, the rook coming back. How is
yeah.
this like any good? How do we explain this move to the audience?
No, actually, I think the rook c2 move was forced, because
Okay.
otherwise,
Yeah, of course.
white was just going to
Mm-hmm.
lose the pawn on b2.
Yeah.
And afterwards, it was very interesting to me as well, because white then maneuvered the rook to e2 and then followed by rook e1.
Yeah. This is very shocking, right?
Yes, and now I think now white is ready to play e5 and then followed by knight e4, jumping the knight to e4 and then followed by f6, because the squares which I have mentioned, like f6, after getting the f6 square with the knight,
Uh-huh.
then suddenly black is going to face a lot of challenges over here.
Okay, but then do you think same thing could have been possible with the rook on e2? How does rook e1 play a major role? So do you by any chance believe that this was just to safeguard the bishop? So in case
No,
if the
not only
bishop was
that.
targeted,
Immediately, I don't think e5 is possible, because once you play the move e5, then suddenly black is just going to play queen f4. And once the queens will get exchanged, then again it would be difficult, of course.
why can't I go queen captures f4, bishop captures f4, and then I go rook to e1? Like why rook e1 the move it's
No,
played now and not later?
yeah, that's
Is
fine.
this
But
some sort of a prophylaxis
but
move?
afterwards also, after playing the rook e1, because
Uh-huh.
now by preventing queen f4, if you are playing the same move, but
Okay.
if there is no exchange of queens,
Mm-hmm.
if the queen will remain in the board, then the pressure will increase automatically, because
Okay.
now once this, imagine if the pawn is on e5,
Yeah.
and after that if black will be able to exchange the queen,
Mm-hmm.
afterwards you won't be able to play knight e4 because of bishop into e5. It's a
Ah,
pin,
right.
right?
That's very true.
Yeah.
But okay, if no, my very little knowledge goes e5, queen e4, queen f4, queen
Mhm.
f4, bishop f4. I play rook to e1. Of course, this might just be hard for the audience. So if you permit, we'll just make the moves on the board.
Sure, sure.
So e5, I was trying to say queen f4, queen captures f4, the bishop comes on f4. I
Hmm.
go rook to e1.
Yeah.
Same idea. Now, my thinking is, as far as I understand, can we go on to g3, followed by knight to e4 now,
No,
and then
now
knight to
probably
f6?
probably now probably black will play f6 itself.
No, f6, I don't think it's possible because the rook is giving an indirect attack on e6, and not only the knight e4, followed by knight f6, knight
No,
d7 will
then
also be there.
no, he will play bishop into e5, right? If you play
Bishop
knight
into
e4,
e5,
yeah,
and oh, cool. Like knight f6, bishop f6,
everything is hanging. Yeah,
rook e6. It will be met with bishop h4 or even
bishop
bishop
h4,
e7
bishop h4 is
sort of a
fine.
move. Bishop
Just getting,
e7 is also, I believe, winning,
that's
right?
fine. But yeah, that is also
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. Okay. And what about move? Um, no, I was thinking f6 g3, but then also is bishop e5 coming, right?
Yeah.
Bishop e5 is still a move. Okay, and we cannot really get rid of that. Okay, I don't know how f6 will be considered here, but I think f6 should be winning as
Yeah, f6.
yeah, f6. I just turned on the engine. You can probably see the eval bar dropped a bit. Okay, I'll just turn off. So to show everyone that here f6, I believe you can see the arrow is best met with as per the engines with some sort of rook a1. For a second they mentioned rook a1. So funny to see this being the best move. Of course, a 2700 player, roughly a 2700 player will not mistook this position, and yeah, he played rook e1. So please go ahead. It's lovely to see how the super GMs, and also Surya Shekhar Ganguly is the former uh, like
His peak rating was 2682, and he was the
second of
second of.
Viswanathan Anand, world champion,
Yes.
five-time world champion Viswanathan Anand. We all know him. Yeah.
So, okay, it was quite shocking when I was watching this match. It was quite shocking that above 2500 grandmaster is playing this move. It's a blunder straight away. It's a
So, sir,
blunder.
is this the like tournament pressure taking in, or the time pressure taking in, or is this everything coming down, or do you feel like we say in chess that there is this thing called like pressuring, right? We slowly pressure our opponent, and at some point they squeeze out and they like just break down at some point.
Yes,
So, is
yes, of
this
course. Because
some
I
kind
don't
of
know, because
psychological thing going on? What is it
yeah,
exactly?
if I don't know whether viewers are able to see the timing or not, but as
Yeah,
you
the
can
viewers
see,
are able to see the timing, sir.
yeah, okay, fine. Then only 5 minutes. It's only 27 moves happened.
Mm-hmm.
It's Black's turn. This one is the 27th move of
Yeah.
Black. So now only 5 minutes remain in the clock for Black. So Black was under tremendous time
Severe
pressure.
time
Yeah.
pressure, right?
So, and at the same time, if you can see Ganguly's time, White is having more than 33 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's a huge gap.
Yeah,
Uh,
so that's like a 30 minutes of gap. It's
yes.
like half an hour is a lot to, to spend for even to spread widely between 10, 15 moves. It can easily
Yes.
go extra or white. Yeah.
And especially whenever you are facing the player like Ganguly. Uh,
And in such a high stake tournament,
yes.
moreover, right?
So,
World Cup is like, yeah, you are representing your country, you are playing with the best, you are trying for this candidate spot, top three spot, guarantees you a spot in the candidates because it's a very high stake tournament and
of course.
also a knockout.
Yeah,
So do you think like everything coming down together, the time, the tournament pressure, the position pressure, of course,
exactly.
like White was maintaining the bishop on d6 for quite some time now, and everything, even this things, even the smallest things or these big things can even break such a huge player like, of course, Black. Okay, hi, back again. Sorry, there was some internet issues. Our office does not have a real good internet. Uh, it's messed up. It's messed up. Yeah, so please continue with the game. You were showing the game.
Yeah. So yeah. Sorry. So yeah, I was thinking of Queen C4, but the problem is after Queen C4, White is having a very strong move, and that is Rook to D4, threatening the Queen. Again, the Queen has to move back to the E6 square itself because
Mm-hmm.
Black Queen doesn't have any other square, and then White can simply play G4 and trapping this bishop.
Right.
And But also I was thinking of uh, playing g4 itself after queen c4, then g4, then if bishop e6, then rook to d4, queen trap. I'm talking about this variation. Now g4.
Yeah, but here there is this extra option of going bishop to g4, getting two pawns.
No, I
Oh, I
think
can still go rook d4 and pick up the
yes,
bishop. Yeah.
but instead of this move, I think now this is possible.
Right. Okay. But then no. It's
Now
not.
this bishop is also there.
Yeah, no. I was thinking g5, bishop g7, queen e3, but then still bishop to f5. But
Then
yeah,
bishop will
there's
move back
no
to
much
f5.
point in this.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I think after this queen c4, I think this is much stronger.
Yep.
Now it's
If the queen moves back, we
yeah,
go g4.
and now g4 is winning.
Yep. Okay. Sure. And
Okay.
then the game went bishop to g7. Funnily, it's a dubious move. Like engines
Uh,
give plus 2.1 to plus 3 as a very dubious thing. It's already lost, man. Come on, understand.
because I don't know how black is going to face the move g4. Yeah, the same thing happened.
Mm-hmm.
White played the move g4 itself,
Uh-huh.
and now black forcefully has to sacrifice the bishop for these two pawns, and king to h2,
Okay.
rook e8. After rook e8, queen g3, queen e6. Usually, in this kind of position, you have to be very careful because at some point, if you play some move, some ordinary move, maybe rook into d6, sometimes may can come because, like, let's say if you are playing knight e2 or something, then maybe rook d6, go rook into d6, and then bishop e6.
Bishop e5, yeah. No, but
Bishop,
still, I think rook
yeah,
e6
that is
is
winning
winning,
still,
still
yeah.
winning. But
But
yeah, we have to be careful, like why to
yeah,
give any chance of the like
yes,
3 points for
unnecessary,
a
yeah.
knight. Yeah, unnecessary compensation counterplay.
So
There's no need.
white played b3. Again, it prevents the move queen c4,
Hmm?
rook d8. And of course, Ganguly is a very experienced player, so I don't think he will mess
Yeah,
up.
he
Yeah,
he like flawlessly kind of converted
yes.
the game in a picture perfect way. Yeah.
And
So
now
knight e4,
94,
bishop e5 happened,
and
queen
now it's
e5, and
just
rook
gone.
d6. Okay, he resigned after rook d6. Of course, there is queen d6. There is knight f6. I believe thousand sort of ways to win here. And of course, Ganguly never miss such a position.
Yes,
Not even Ganguly, like any like title player won't even miss. Like
yeah.
even probably I would have seen this variation. Yeah.
And now, if you can see the time difference, Ganguly is having still 11 minutes, 8 seconds left on his clock, and Black is having only 45 seconds to go.
Yeah, so this game was a perfect illustration of opening surprise in the
Yes.
board in very timingly opening surprise. Yeah, it's like this is what openings are meant to be like to just
Uh,
surprise sometimes, and we can see like we sometimes even know we as in you me we all like 2300 2200 we all try to be so much engrossed in openings that we also forget that there is time, there's opponents pressure,
yes.
other things to chess. There's whole set of psychological things along with this. Just chess in it. Chess is so much more than just the opening and just the game itself. There's
Of course.
psychological things going on. This is, I think, a very perfect example of saying psychological things in the board. Like this is psychological turbulence taking place in the board. Yeah. Okay, and so I think this is game number one of round one, game number one.
Yes.
Yeah, there was a few more games. Of course, we have a few more Indian players. I believe there, of course, we will check with those games wherein the results have been there for the Indian players. And Indian P won against Bardais, Ason, Dylan Sidro, someone from Cuba I have already played in Spain. So can should we be looking at this game,
Yeah,
or
sure.
we can also see in like game number two wherein Arunya Ghosh, our very own player, my friend, I know him for quite some time. Arunya, he won against GM in must win position, a must win situation, not a position, but yeah, I believe that also with no, that was with white pieces, but yeah. Do you have any
Mm,
good game in mind, sir? There is Faustino all over the news today. I saw him winning the first round. Yeah.
yeah. Uh, so let me check the game of
Okay.
Aronok.
No,
What he won.
Arunyak, I believe, his second game. He lost the first game
Yeah,
to him. So shall we go into the second round of this tournament? Yeah.
sure.
Okay. Second round is here. We'll just open up a board, not to so much get distracted, and here we'll find, okay, of course, Irigasi won against Petrov Marian, which is like pretty much expected result. We are trying to highlight those players who have done like well. Of course, Surya Bhaiya's game was exceptional, but he played an exceptional game. The win was not that special, but of course he played really, really out of the book kind of chess, and he took down psychological battle completely. Okay, so we'll look into our homeboy, our very own Arunya Ghosh's game.
Actually, back in 2006, I used to go
Oh,
to.
we went. Yes, so please tell the story. I'll do the.
Yeah, I used to go to Ganguly Bhaiya's house,
Mhm.
and in those days, he taught me some openings. And of course, if you can spend even 1 hour, you will not fail to uh, go to anywhere else, even not to eat anything. Just sit, and if something you can discuss with him on chess, that would be just great. So he was saying opening is just nothing. If you have the clear concept of the opening, you don't need to prepare in depth, like let's say 35 to 40 moves, at least for 2200 or 2300 rated players. At that point of time, probably I was 2200 or something like that. And then he taught me few openings where he just told me the ideas of those openings, and eventually showed few moves as well. And by knowing those ideas, afterwards, I don't know, something happened with me also. Then suddenly I was just trying to get into it, and I was just trying to understand the basic concept of that particular opening and the fundamental of that opening. And he used to say two things. One is pawn structure. The opening is based on which pawn structure, so you have to understand that pawn structure and the piece position. These two things are most important for any of the openings, and I can still remember those words are meant to be a lot to me actually. Anyway, and I think he's still following the same which he used to say at that point of time.
So this is what Aspire Chess Academy brings in. Yeah, not only the coaches themselves, but also there's so much to all the coaches right here that there's so much backstory. I know they have a huge team, including me, of course, a part of them now. But yeah, they have this whole experience and stories to tell to the students, and they have conversed with such great players, and so also like great players, great grandmasters are also in the team. So this is a very lovely academy. And yeah, talking about Surya Bhaiya, I also had few opportunities to interact with him, particularly in I had gotten some classes in pro chess training. His
Hmm.
institute, he has that absolute elite level of institute, right, in India, one of the best in India. Not only
Yes.
in India, in world, I believe, at the very elite level. They are providing the classes. Many of the grandmasters join that, and basically I had a chance to converse with him, and he got me humbled over in a 30, 40 students class, I just got really
Okay.
humbled. I was very happy to get humbled that day that he explained me why, like he just asked me this question. I just told him one question. He just told me, why is a6 played in as knight off? I remember that I was taught this thing when I was young, but at that moment, getting suddenly this question from him, it took me off place. I couldn't answer then, and he explained me that thing. And okay, of course, like I was like, yeah, I knew this. How could I not remember? But then the way he explained, it kind of sticked. Like, and then he had, and then I saw in him this, his vision of looking into opening in such a nice, different way, like no other player or no one else actually would look into things. Like
Yes.
particularly I saw this very like thing in him that being this 2700 player teaching the 2800 players, he can also go down to the level of, that time I was 2200, 2300, I don't remember, but yeah, he can also go down to the level of 1800, 2000,
Exactly.
and
Yes.
explain chess in such a way that even they will take out some things from such a high level player. That's very interesting because like a coach's work or a teacher's work is like, it's very hard. You can't go down to any like lower level students to explain these things. But yeah, it's
And I do believe
differently
that
well.
the way he teaches chess, automatically it will register on your mind. So that is very important. As a coach, if something one coach can deliver, and afterwards, if it will automatically register on your mind, that is very important. And that is the role I think every coach, everyone, every trainer should do actually.
So like yeah, huge thank you to Suya Bhaiya for teaching, for being for being at the pinnacle of the Indian chess
Yes.
community. Yeah, and thank you Dhruv for the mention. Yeah, we shall go to the to game number two, round two. No, round one, game number two between Arunya Ghosh and Bartel. Of course, Bartel is a very strong player. He has been
Yes.
in the 1650 zone, I believe. I don't know exactly.
26.
50 zone, yeah,
Yeah.
26, 50. I
26. Yeah.
probably remember him seeing that zone. He won, Arunyak won in a must win situation.
Aranak played this as white.
His patent line d4, he's
Yeah.
a avid d4 player. He plays this all the time. Knight f6, pawn coming to c4, e6, knight c3. So this is not something that I see regularly from Arunyak. Arunyak is more of a g3,
Yes.
b3 sort of
Yes.
a structural player. Yeah, he played the main
Yeah.
line. Probably the must win situation forced him to do this. Queen, bishop b4, queen c2. Nimzo Indian on the board.
Yeah.
d6. Okay. And d5 is the main line here, or d6 is also played.
Actually, d6. The reason behind this move d6. Now later on, at some point, black will exchange the bishop with this knight, the c3 knight, and then black will try to take control over the dark color. That's why he placed his pawn to the d6, because once if you exchange your dark color bishop, then you must take care of your dark color. Otherwise, your opponents will your bishop will get the easy entry on the via dark color, right? So after placing the pawn to d6, maybe later on your black will play knight c6 or knight d7, and then followed by e5. That's how he will get control over the dark color by
Okay.
placing his own pawn.
So the game went e3 castle, nothing special here. Bishop
Yeah.
e3, and rightly as you mentioned, e5 happened in the board, but the idea knight e2, just I believe protecting sort of more
Yes.
on d4. So rook e8, again, central lines being kind of touched now. Castle, bishop c3, the idea that you just mentioned, knight c3. And engine shows this slightly inaccurate, but I believe yeah, bc3 is more sort of the Nimzo typical Nimzo idea. Knight c3 also I believe is playable. Knight to c6, engine gives this a dubious move. I don't know why, but yeah, like it's tough to. For me, it's very much a normal move. I don't know why this was said that knight c6 is dubious, but probably because they wanted bishop to g4 out first and then moving the knight, or what was it the engine would have wanted? What do you think?
I think after e into d4, then knight c6, it comes with a tempo. That might be the reason.
Sorry, I didn't get you. Like,
Instead of knight c6,
uh-huh.
here straight away black could have
ED4,
captured
ED4, and knight
knight
C6 would
c6.
have been a
Yeah,
tempo. Yeah.
that comes with the tempo, and then
Okay.
followed by knight b4, and
Uh-huh.
that's how eventually black will exchange the knight with the d3 bishop, because
Mm-hmm.
the pair of bishop would have been dangerous afterwards.
Yep. So knight C6, ED5, knight B4, the on
Yeah,
bishop on B3
that's
to
what I have
D3.
just
Yeah.
mentioned. Probably.
Queen B1, rook E5. Okay. E4, knight D3, now queen D3, bishop D7. Opposite color bishop. So this is again feels like a very instructive game of opposite color bishop
Yeah,
crash on the board. Yeah, b3.
especially for the newcomer, I must say this thing. Usually, the characteristics of opposite color bishop. If you are playing this kind of position in the end game, then the chances are pretty high that you will end up with a draw. But if you are facing the same position in the middle game, again the chances are very high that you will end up with a resulting position. Either you will win and either you will lose with opposite color bishop, because usually the characteristics of opposite color bishop in the middle game are you may can win or you're going to lose, because the color which you are having the control, your opponent doesn't have the control, and at the same time the color which your opponent is actually controlling, you don't have the control on it. So that's why usually the middle game with opposite color bishop end up with a resulting position in
Yeah,
most of the
so this
cases.
is this is the academy's logo, and this is all the knowledge of the academy being shared right away. So I just took in the creative liberty of just putting on the logo. Yeah. Okay.
You are the chief coach of that academy.
No, it's just their associated. I'm more into the ChessNeeds team now. I
Okay.
love this project now. Okay, B3, B5, and knight B5 happened. Knight E4, bishop B2.
Okay, but just go back. I'm not sure what is the idea of b5, because it looks very interesting and at the same time dangerous too, because by sacrificing the b5 pawn, you're also going to get back the e4 pawn. That's true.
No, but what would have happened if sort of CB5 happened in the
No,
board?
then probably queen e8 followed by bishop into b5.
Queen E8. Can't I meet Queen E8 with something like bishop to
Still
F4,
bishop
bishop B5,
b5
right?
is coming up.
Okay, if I go A4 here, knight E4 would be met with bishop to F4. If the rook goes back E6, I go knight E5. Is that sort of a possibility? Like, no, there's knight E4, knight C5, I believe, right?
Yes.
Okay, then okay, if not CB5, then what should I do?
No,
Shall I go directly onto
no,
F4 or bishop
knight
to F3?
b5 is also fine, but I am just trying to understand that after opening up the diagonal a1, h8 diagonal for the bishop, the dark color bishop for white, then is there any serious point to sacrificing the b pawn? And again, if you are going to get the e4 pawn, but still, don't you think that the bishop, once this bishop will develop on b2, then that will be will create
Whoops,
some
sorry.
serious problem in that
Sorry,
position.
everyone. Sorry, just 1 second. Misclicked, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
It was here. Yeah.
Yeah, right here. So engine suggested I just checked F3. I'm very much a dependent player on engine, and okay, probably just holding the center tight. And
Yeah.
I believe the point of this was to control the d5 square, to keep this square in control, to basically sort of, we all know this thing that we should put the pawns, not we don't know, to anyone who is watching
Hmm.
out there, you should put the pawns in your opponent's bishop's color, so to
Yes, of
kind of
course.
restrict
Yeah.
the bishop there, because we have control over on one color of the board, so the other colors can be controlled by this pawns itself, and
Yeah.
opponent's bishop relevance kind of goes down then.
So, and especially no matter whether you are playing in the middle game or in the end game, but usually with the opposite color bishop,
Mm-hmm.
if you have to place your pawns on your opponent's colors bishops. That means if your opponent is having the light color bishop, then you must place your pawns on the light color so that that bishop will remain inactive. But whenever you are playing the end game, then you have to remember this thing. If you are a defender, then you must place your pawns on the color which you are having the bishop. Like if you are having the dark color bishop, then you must place your pawn to the dark color so that your opponent will not be able to capture any further pawn. Defender
So,
means if you are having down by a pawn or so,
okay.
right?
So you have appreciation right here from through the way Joydeep teaches us. It automatically registers in my mind too. All thanks to Joydeep sir and Arpanda. So thank you, Dhruv, for this. But
Thanks a lot,
yeah,
Dhruv.
it's all because of you. You know, you are so much with us. You know, from day one, you are all supporting us. So again, we are really thankful to you too, and thank you for this trust. Okay, so knight b5 happened, and knight b knight e4. So kind of a side pawn is now exchanged for the central pawn.
Yeah.
Bishop b2. The
And
rook
at
on
the
e5
same
is
time,
attacked.
the main intention with opposite color bishop is to attack the king side. No matter whether you are getting a pawn or two pawns on the queen side, the most important part in this kind of position is if you can attack on your opponent's king, then suddenly you will get a huge edge in this kind of position. No
Yeah.
matter you are down by a pawn or so, but if you can attack.
So you mean to say like this bishop b2 now directly eyes on the
Yes.
g7 square, the king on e8 feels a bit, a g8 feels a bit shaky
Yeah.
already, yeah?
And that is the main differentiate creator I hope in this position, because as you can see, the somehow the d7 bishop looks dull because suddenly it is not close to the king side of white, and at the same time now already b2 bishop has been developed and it's already started doing some sort of operation on the king side by looking at the g7 square.
Okay, so knight c5 played here, and queen went to d2. Okay, but this, no, not this. Probably this would have been interesting.
Rook g5 and then bishop c6 maybe.
Okay, yeah, no, this is bad. Okay, so queen d2 happened, rook to h5 he went,
Mhm.
and f3. So okay, not the best move as per engines, but again, I believe he's sort of doing the human idea. He's firstly stopping the knight on
Yes.
e4 and also restricting this bishop in a way. If it comes to this diagonal, that he does not have a bright future on this diagonal, the bishop wouldn't have a bright future on this diagonal.
Yeah.
So I believe that is what was happening here. And bishop came to b5, so now gotten rid of the double bishop already. Queen to g5, and okay, black kind of engines kind of give this move a dubious for black. But queen h4 they prefer, and I believe this was very normal, natural sort of a
Queen
move
H,
to
yeah.
spot, right?
Queen H4 looks very natural over
And
here.
particularly like at the caliber of 2600, player they're playing. So yeah, that is, I believe, doable. But g3, queen h3, rook e1 is what the engine suggests. I believe we
Knight
can,
D3, yeah.
yeah, we can look into this variation later. It seems already equalish for me, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
of course, he may. Again, I can see one thing though. White is up on time, 41 minutes as opposed to 24 minutes for black. Again, we see this pressure of, I don't know, position come the time taking over. So this tournament pressure is real. Like we say, I mean, we don't say it, like we very casually say that we are going to play a big tournament. But this is actually what a big tournament means. The essence of a big tournament is this, right? Even the time matters. Even an inch of a time is very important here.
Yes.
So queen g5 and
And do you
f4.
know, Arpan, earlier the tournament the organizer used to organize, and at that point of time, even at that point of time, I also didn't start playing chess.
Okay. So you mean
But
1980s around that time, is it?
yes, even till 1990 or so,
Okay.
91 maybe. So
So just
the
before the entry of the DGT in sim,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Uh-huh.
So at that point of time, the tournament matches used to add zone, like till if the round starts at 10 o'clock in the morning, so it will be a 7 hour session. So till 5 o'clock, the match will continue. The round will continue. Afterwards, if nothing is gonna happen immediately, maybe the position is still playable. Then the arbiter will come and they will seal the position. They will write down the position in a paper and then they will seal it in a box. That paper will be placed over there. And in the next morning, again, both of them will come, the players will come. And actually, in the same day, night, they can go to their home and analyze the position. And next day morning, they can come and they can start from there, that particular position, and they can start playing.
uh,
But nowadays, due to DGT, you don't have to wait for the adjoining of the position and something like that. So, and the pressure is really huge nowadays.
yeah. Yeah, like you can imagine a 10 hour, 12 hour game. I don't know.
Yes.
Like a game taking place over 2 days, and nowadays we are doing here speed run in our channel. So you must
Yeah.
have seen 1 minute plus 0 seconds increment. Yeah. So it's a rush then. So James Bond is real. Um, so F4 and Queen to D5, Queen C3, attack on the G7, F6, Rook a D1, Queen F7. This position already started to kind of favor white, and white is owing to Rook H2, Rook H1 met, and
Hmm. King H1 probably the only
King
move.
H1 probably the only move.
And
Would be
now
met
Queen
with Queen F4,
F4,
G H3
H3.
is there, right? So how come? Hey, is this a draw then? Can I play something like Queen to G3 here, Rook to H3?
Yeah.
So is this the bare minimum that white is getting, black is getting?
Yes, yes.
But is like I know of course black is very much happy with a draw, but is there anything better than this? Or shall we just ask computer G from KBC? Yeah, I believe
Knight was on C5.
computer say push लेते हैं. I think King H8 okay, King H8 is of course going to
No,
Bishop
before
D4.
after before whether Knight F4 was the best move.
Okay, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah, Knight
Knight F4.
A4 seems to be the
Yeah.
best.
Yes.
Queen B3 seems logical. King H8 somehow is not a good move going to Bishop to D4. If Queen A4, this, yeah, we sort of saw the right variation.
Hmm.
But what if instead of here we go King to F8? Uh, it shows Bishop to D4 again.
Hmm.
Somehow this move is what engines are preferring, and again, okay, this position engines saying that this is still playable with kind of 0.5, 0.6 edge for white. But okay, so of course we are looking at Stockfish 17.1, but a very low quality engine, I believe. It's running on 7 MB cache, and at a depth of 32, it's not very much the supercomputer level or even a normal computer level. It's a cloud
Hmm.
engine working at a cloud level speed, but still, like, yeah, it's not this much better. It's like not hardly, I believe, 0.1 or 0.2. It should not be more than that. So
Yeah.
this position does not seem very, like, yeah, very promising for what we covered upon. And yeah, okay. So B4 was bad owing to this queen E3, queen G3 tactics, I believe, and knight went to E6. That move.
But still, more than 13 minutes is there on clock for black. But don't you think being a 2650 or more than that rated guy is playing this move 96?
I believe
Because
the tournament pressure. The tournament pressure is real. Yeah, it's
yeah.
settling in. It's real. Rook e1, queen f7, and also like it's a must-win situation. You have to like white is going all in, and
Hmm.
black just needs a draw. But that psychology always works. That my opponent is always pushing harder. My
Hmm.
opponent won't accept a draw, and he will of course fight. And the psychology can sometimes make or break. Yeah.
Yes.
So rook e1, queen to f7, pawn to g4 happened. Rook d5, queen c4. Sort of
And
Staying.
now it's crushing.
Yeah, now it's kind of like the pressure is settling in. Knight f8, bishop d4, knight g6. I believe simple bishop a7 was doable. Um, the engines are saying bishop a7 is doable. Not only the engines, even like I feel like yeah, me
Yeah,
being
now
greedy.
because a
Yeah,
pawn is simply passed pawn, and it will make sure that white is winning in this position.
yeah. So there's a Bengali proverb like "Lobe paap pape mrityu," but it's not probably
Yeah.
that we won't die here. So uh, bishop f2, h5, g3, h4, h4, f5, g5, rook to d2, queen f7, king f7, rook c1, knight f4,
And
c7.
now it's just matter of technique.
Yeah, king to g6, bishop f7, king e6 happened, b6, and yeah, this would be crushing. We know, like our homeboys, of course, like much more capable. He of course won on demand, went on to win this series of games. Won the last two games. I believe he won tiebreaker 5 and tiebreaker 6 to win the series. And yeah, what a lovely turn of tables
Yeah.
here from losing the first game to winning this game. Of course, we couldn't show you the first game, but trust me, like this game was nothing like sort of what said dull to watch. This was very exciting game. Very kind of positional battle and positional victory. Not very positional in sense, but yeah, still the maneuvering was there. The opposite color bishop conflict
Yeah.
was there, and then this sort of open c file, e file, the play along the lines. It was kind of good to see. It was a pleasure. Because I thoroughly enjoyed Surya Bhaya's game a bit more because of this rookie 2, rookie 1 idea. I don't know, that kind of stuck in my head from today
Mm-hmm.
morning itself. Like, it just hit me that, oh my god, like,
Even
hey,
the way how actually his opponent stuck, I think, by
yeah,
saying them, yeah.
Bishop G4, yeah. So he blundered, but this game, of course, was much more of a technical battle. This game was smooth from white
Yes.
side, from even smoother from black side. There was no direct blunder, sort of. But yeah, the conversion from this part, I believe, was very lovely to watch. From around move 20
Hmm.
to how Arnya sort of, kind of slowly improved control over this position, playing G4, kind of breaking his king side open, and from there going on to win this game was
Yes.
a pleasure. Okay, then. So I believe we have to end here. It's been roughly more than an hour we have been streaming. I don't know. I'll just tell you the time. I can't see the
Yeah,
time,
it's 11:50 now at night.
and we are doing this for quite some time now. We will end now. Okay, everyone. So whoever is watching live, very good night to all of you.
Good
Bye
night.
bye. And again, um, do check out, keep an eye on this ChessNeeds channel, of course. Saeed here, who's coming day in, day out, day on, like sometimes I am here, and of course, like there will be few more guests coming in few days' time. So, just kind of keep an eye on us. And also, we have started this Needs for Puzzle series on Instagram, on YouTube post, and on Facebook. So for for YouTube users, you get the post one day earlier. So whoever is watching from, Instagram, Facebook, they get the post one day after. So yeah, you can keep an eye on this. Puzzles are mostly easier levels, not this much in depth, but yeah, it still will be a good thing to watch. And we'll try time on time. We'll try to give some hard positions for all the viewers who wants hard positions. Okay, guys. So that's it. Bye bye and good night.